Barbershop conversation, guys. Feel free to hit the subscribe button. So, Eddie Hearn had a press conference today. We ain't gonna talk about the press conference yet, but you know what I mean. Y'all need to gather on it and really listen to me. August 25th, backpacking haircuts. To September 28th, um, um, September 28th. In the city of Los Angeles, 10 to 2. We're going to have a great time. But moving forward, man, let's talk about this shit for real. See, here's the cap. Here's the biggest cap of the world. I'm going to explain it to my American boxing fans and all the UK fans because I only know American analogies. Remember when is Minnesota getting the Super Bowl? Remember that they were trying to sign a petition to put it on the to put the residents to vote that they pay a certain percentage. You know how in America, where they ask the taxpayers, like we get in the Olympics in 2024 here in Los Angeles, I believe, and they ask taxpayers to front the bill, right? And the list goes on and on. You know, in San Diego, they were trying to keep the Chargers and they wanted the residents to help pay for the stadium, and I assume that they said no. Let me explain something to you about when Eddie Hearn say they're building a new stadium. Here's how it works. Eddie Hearn has the idea. He goes to a rather wealthy businessman in Saudi Arabia and he's like, hold the fuck up. If I can get this contract like Dick Cheney had Halliburton in the Middle East, right? Remember all this shit? And now you guys having aha moments, right? If I can get the government on the hook for this stadium, and when you ask for the government, you ask for the perfect amount, right? Where you're not cutting. You ask for the budget that would make it look like the most amazing arena in the entire world, right? So if it costs $50 million to make a stadium, like I'm just giving you around. I don't know how much it costs to make a stadium. I know it's more, but I'm using round numbers so you guys can see. If it costs $50 million to make a stadium, right? You're going to ask for $75 million to make the stadium because you know you don't want to accrue, but that $25 million is the pot of gold. You guys understand what I'm saying? That $25 million is the pot of gold where we're paying ourselves $25 million for coming up with this grand idea. And then the man goes to Eddie Hearn and says, man, hey, I got the government on board. Your taxpayers are going to pay this amount of money for this stadium. If we come up with $10 million, $15 million, we can have the stadium, right? And so on and so forth, right? So with that being said, that's the cap, guys. It's like, well, I don't want to talk about, but that's the cap. That's the cap. So, for example, I'm not sure if anyone's ever been eminent domain, right? Don't take the first offer, negotiate, because the private contractor is coming in that goes to so let's say in Inglewood, right? A lot of properties are being eminent domain, right? Here in Inglewood, California, not Inglewood, Colorado. And it's being eminent domain, right? And the private contractor says, I can do this. I can turn these buildings into a parking lot for the stadium, the overflow of parking for the stadium, or if you want to build hotels, whatever, I'm going to give you $3 million for this lot. So they go to the resident and says, hey, we'll give you $1.3 million. You guys get what I'm saying? So there's a $1.7 million cushion there that the government, that the negotiator with the government wins. And you always heard about them backroom deals with the councilmen and all that. The backroom deal is with Eddie Hearn and the guy in charge of building the stadium and the contract. Or I'm not sure if Eddie Hearn went through the contractor or if Eddie Hearn went through a local businessman in Saudi Arabia that knows the contractor to get the deal done with the government. I don't know which way he went, but at the end of the day, that's the cap. And it happens every day in America. It happens with every, I mean, you know, I mean, I'm not incriminating anyone, but when people make deals and they ask for money from the fans and they put it on initiative as a bill and you vote for it, yes or no, a proposition, I believe is what it's called. And you wrote yes or no, that's what it is. So I'm not sure if they have a true democracy in Saudi Arabia. I don't know what it looks like in Saudi Arabia. You know, I've never been there. I've only seen it through the lenses of my TV and Google, so I'm not even going to pretend that I know what it looks like or what it feels like in terms of government, in terms of democracy or dictatorship, or, you know what I mean? I have no idea what it is. So I'll say this. It's Eddie Hearn is winning. Eddie Hearn is fucking winning. And I'll break it down in simpler terms, right? I'll break it down into a friendship deal, right? So let's say I know Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan is like my personal best friend in the whole entire world, right? In the whole entire world, right? And basically everybody knows it because they see me with him, they see me this. And some guy, some businessman pulls me to the side and says, "Hey Fred, I know you're great friends with Michael Jordan. Tell Michael Jordan I'll give him $150,000 just to show up at my son's birthday party for 3 minutes. 3 minutes. I just want him to show up for 3 minutes. I'll give him $150,000. And he says, if you do, I'll give you $25K on top of it. And he's like, okay, but here's the cap. The guy that know, I know Michael Jordan. Hey, I know Michael Jordan, right? The guy that I know Michael Jordan, I'm going to say, well, you got to give me that $25,000 up front. He's going to say, well, I'll give you half, 12 and a half. He's like, shit, I made 12 and a half thousand. And it's not really important to get the 12 and a half because Michael Jordan's your best friend. So $12,500 is not really that much money for real. You understand what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I say this. Eddie Hearn has made a deal. He already has got a guaranteed money. He already got guaranteed money, millions of dollars, just for the concept of the idea, because so much can go wrong with the building of the infrastructure for the fight. Oh, we can't make it in time. Eddie Hearn don't care. The contractor don't care. The businessman that made the deal don't care. They already got the guaranteed of the money, whether the fight goes on or not. Now, if the fight goes on, obviously they make more money. But we're talking millions of dollars, dog. We're not talking about $10 here, $20 here. We're talking millions of dollars, for real. And that's just the reality of it. You understand what I'm saying? And that's the truth, man. So is it a good business deal? It sounds like a backroom deal. And as I reported, I told you guys that the deal is nowhere near from being done. It didn't sound true, and then everyone else started reporting that. And these are the facts, man. It's not what it really is. You understand what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, Eddie Hearn's already paid. He already got money. You saw he was up. He was up with the guy, right? That may not be the guy with the money. That may be the best looking guy, the most professional guy that's a part of that team from Saudi Arabia to get the deal done. He may not even be the front man. Like Eddie Hearn is not the man for the zone. I think I don't know who the man is. Like, who's the money man? Is it John Skipper? I don't know who's the money man, but I know Eddie Hearn is just the face of the zone. You understand what I'm saying? And that's the reality of it. So the cap is already made. They're going to get money from the government to help build this stadium, to get the infrastructure. They have the eminent domain, probably, I don't know what they call it in Saudi Arabia, to build up. So they may have like parking issues. They may realize, because it's done, the plan was done so quick, they may have parking issues. They may have safety issues. I don't know if they have to be compliant with handicap laws and ADA laws and stuff like that. I don't know that to be true. But not only do you pull money from the government, see, in America, you pull money from private entities, not private entities, but different sections of grants, right? So you may get some from like safety, you may get some from ADA, you may get some from the state, you may get some from the national government. You understand? And you may even get some from the military if they can be on site in terms of like military base stadium where they have a forever spot there. And then you get the private investors who just want their name on a certain section of the arena. Like this is like Michael Williams Court. You know what I mean? That'd be $10 million. I mean, the cap is just, it's just, so anyways, man, that's the mind that goes into this business deal and getting this shit done. You know what I mean? And that's the reality of it. I didn't have to learn but when I ran for public office, you know how to delve into politics and learn the realities of it. You understand what I'm saying? So that's the cap. Eddie Hearn already paid. He already got millions of dollars just to start the negotiations with Saudi Arabia. Barbershop Conversations, man. Feel free to hit the subscribe button. I told you, I stay 2 steps ahead, man. 2 steps ahead. I'm the GOAT. I get this shit. Barbershop Conversations, man. Feel free to hit the subscribe button. Talk to you guys soon. Peace.